welcome to Basic Electrical Engineering. Today in this lecture, we will discuss about the construction as well as types of the single phase transformer. So let's start. The basic construction of a transformer. Here it is a diagram of the transformer. A transformer mainly consists of two inductive windings and a laminated steel core that we have already discussed in the previous lecture. If we draw the schematic diagram of the transformer, it will be look like this. So this is the high permeability core of the transformer where two windings are placed on the transformer. One side the power supply is given, that is the AC power supply, and the other side is connected to the load. So this is basically the schematic diagram of the transformer. Actually, the construction of the transformer is shown here. This is the laminated core, and on this laminated core, the windings are placed. As we know that the transformer is basically convert high voltage to low voltage or low voltage to high voltage. So the windings can also be named as low voltage windings and high voltage windings. So here the windings are shown. This is the low voltage winding and this is the high voltage winding. It is placed within a tank. The coils are insulated from each other as well as from the steel core. Definitely, if the coils are not insulated, then there will be a chances of short circuit. That's why the coils are properly insulated so that there will be no chance of short circuiting between the high voltage and low voltage windings as well as between the cores and the coils. The transformer may also consist of a container for windings and core assembly, which is called as a tank. There are some suitable bushings to take out the terminals. There are oil conservators to provide the oil in the transformer tank for cooling purpose. So now see this figure. Here this is considered as a tank. Within this tank, this part is the transformer. This is the part of the transformer which is placed within a tank. The tank should be filled with the oil. The oils are basically used to cool the transformer because there will be during operation there will be iron loss, there will be copper loss, and these losses are converted to the heat energy. So this heat should be dissipated properly, otherwise the temperature of the transformer will be very high. So the tank will be filled with the oil, and there will be some cooling tubes or fins that is connected with the tank. This is basically used to cool the uh, oil of the transformer and to make the transformer cool. In the upper side of the transformer, there are some standing parts. These are called the bushings. Here we can see that there are three lines, three bushings of lengthier, and these are the shorter bushings. So this is basically for the low voltage and this is for the high voltage. There is also a conservator tank which is used to store the oil, because when the transformer will generate the heat, it will dissipate the heat. The oil within the tank will be heated and it will be expanded. So this expansion of the oil will be taken care properly by the help of the conservator tank. So this is the general structure of a transformer. Remember one thing, the tank and the oil, these these are used specifically for the high rating transformer. For low rating transformer, the tank and the oils are not used. Even the bushings are also not used for the low rating transformer. In all type of transformers, core is constructed by assembling the laminated sheets of steel with minimum air gap between them. So let's see. As we have already discussed, the core is constructed by assembling the laminated sheets of the steel with minimum air gap between them. The sheets are cut in the shape of E, the English letter E, I, and L. Here we can see the uh, configuration of the sheet. This is the L-shaped sheet. Here the L-shaped sheets are used to make the structure of the transformer, to make the core of the transformer, and these are assembled like this. There is another type of structure, that is the combination of E and I. Here we can see this is a sheet of shape E, the English letter E, and here it is the I. So this type of sheets are also used. This type of transformer, this type of structure of the transformer is basically used for the high rating transformer. Whereas for low rating transformers, the single laminated sheets are used, just like this. Here the sheet is a continuous. There is no cut between within the sheet. So this type of core is basically used for the low rating transformer. The steel is basically used having high silicon content and sometimes heat treated. This is basically used to provide the high permeability and low hysteresis loss in the core of the transformer. As we have already discussed, when the AC power supply is given to the transformer, an alternating flux will be generated, and when this alternating flux flows through the core, within the core material, the B versus H characteristic creates a loop. This is called the hysteresis loop. The shape of the hysteresis loop is like that, and its area depends upon two factors, that is called the retentivity and the corrosive force. Here we can see this is the retentivity, because here when the current is 0 or the H is equal to 0, in that case there will be some flux present in the material or the flux density. So this amount of force is considered as a retentive force. Similarly, when the current is flowing in the reverse direction, some amount of force is required to demagnetize this retentive force. So this is considered as a corrosive force. So basically this region and this region is considered as the loss, basically converted to a loss, and this loss depends upon the shape of the BH characteristics, or we can say the hysteresis loop. To make the hysteresis loss low, basically the core of the transformer is made by the silicon steel with high content of the silicon, and sometimes the heat treated materials are also used. Generally, the material which is used for large machines, the technical name of this material is considered as CRGO steel, where CRGO means cold rolled grain oriented steel. This is a special type of silicon steel which is used to make the core of the transformer for high rating, so that the hysteresis loss should be minimum. Similarly, the laminated sheets of the steel are used to reduce the eddy current loss. Eddy current loss is that when the alternating flux is flowing through the core of the material, then the core material is also the good conducting material. So according to the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, the EMF is also induced in the core of the transformer. As a result, a current will start to circulate within the core. This is called the eddy current, and the loss corresponding to this eddy current is considered as the eddy current loss. It can be seen that the eddy current and hence the eddy current loss depends upon the thickness of the core. So if we use a solid core material, that means the thickness is very high, then the magnitude of the eddy current will be very high. In this figure, we can see that a single material is used here, so the magnitude of the eddy current will be very high. But if we make this single core into number of seats, here these are the seats, so the magnitude of the eddy current will be reduced. Later we will see that this eddy current loss is basically proportional to the square of the thickness, that we will discuss later. That means if we reduce the thickness, that means the eddy current loss will also be reduced. That's why the core is always made by the thin laminated sheets of the silicon steel. Here the silicon steel is used to reduce the hysteresis loss, and thin laminated sheet is used because to reduce the eddy current loss. Generally, the thickness of the sheets are between 0.3 to 0.5 mm. This is the thickness of the sheets which is used to create the structure of the transformer or to make the core of the transformer. Here it can be seen that this is the E and I shape. The thickness of each sheet is between 0.3 to 0.5 mm. Now to avoid high reluctance at joints, the laminations are stacked by alternating the sides of the joint. That means in this figure you can see that here the I-shaped sheet is in the bottom and E-shaped sheet is in the upper side. Just beyond this sheet, there is another sheet where I-shaped sheet is in the upper side and E-shaped sheet in the lower side. So in this way, alternating structure are made so that the reluctance should be minimum, because if the reluctance is very high, then the permeability will be reduced as well as the flux generation will also be reduced. So there will be a loss in magnetic field. That means joint of the first seat assembly are at front face and the joint of the following assemblies are kept at the back face. Just like here, E in the first seat, the E is in the upper side, I is in the lower side. The next E is in the lower side and I is in the upper side. Next, again I will be in the lower side and E will be in the upper side. So in this way, the structures are made. Now, the types of the transformer. Depending upon the construction, the transformer is divided into two types. That is the core type transformer and the cell type transformer. So this is basically the transformer can be classified according to different options. So here we classify the transformer depending upon their construction. And according to the construction, it may be either core type or it may be either cell type. So let's see the core type construction. In the previous slide, we have seen that the sheets are made like E shape, I shape, or L shape. So for core type construction, generally L shape sheets are used. So these are the shapes of the sheets, and the assembly is look like this. That means here the L is placed, one L is placed here, and another L is placed here. So this is the construction of the core type transformer. In core type transformer, the magnetic circuit consists of two vertical legs, which is also called as limb. and two horizontal sections, which is also called as yoke. That means if we make the structure using these sheets, so we'll get two vertical part and two horizontal part. So this vertical part is called as limb and two horizontal parts are called as yoke. Remember one thing, in core type transformers, the windings, either it is high voltage windings or low voltage windings, these windings are always placed on the limb. No windings are placed on the yoke. So here it is the structure of the core type transformer including the winding. So this is the L-shape sheet. After joining the L-shape sheet, we will get the structure of the core. So here we will get two vertical parts. This is one vertical part. This is another vertical part. And we have two horizontal parts, this one and this one. So the horizontal parts are called as yoke and the vertical parts are called as limb. Here the windings are placed on two sides of the limb. How these windings are placed? To minimize the leakage flux, half of each winding is placed on each leg of the core. That means, let's say the total number of uh, primary windings or low voltage winding turn is N1 and total number of high voltage winding turn is N2. So the windings are placed on the limb in such a way that half of the low voltage windings, that means N1 by 2, are placed on one limb and other half is placed on the other limb. That means the total low voltage windings are divided into equal parts and half of each part is placed on one limb. Remember one thing, in core type transformers, the first of all, the low voltage windings are placed and then the high voltage winding is again divided into two parts. That means the total number of turn into divided into two parts and half of the high voltage windings are placed on the low voltage winding on each limb. So here it can be shown that this is the low voltage winding. This white circle is shown. It is the low voltage winding. This is basically insulation, and then this blue circle is basically the low voltage winding. Because we have to insulate the coils windings, in between windings we have to place the insulation, as well as between core and the low voltage windings also we have to place the insulation. So here the insulations are placed, then the low voltage winding, that is this blue circle, is placed. Half of the low voltage winding is placed in one side and other half is placed in other leg. Then again some insulation is put on the low voltage winding and then half of the high voltage windings are placed on each link. So this is the basic construction or basic structure of the core type transformer. Here, when the power is supplied to the primary winding, the magnetic field will be developed, and the magnetic field will be developed in such a way that it will be a equally distributed magnetic field throughout the core of the transformer. Therefore, the leakage flux will be minimum in this case. Here, the cylindrical coils have different layers, and each layer is insulated from each other. That we have already mentioned. The coils or the windings are placed there in cylindrical shape, and in between cylinders there should be some insulation. Materials like paper, cloth or mica is basically used as the insulation. Depending upon the rating of the transformer, these insulations are used. For low rating transformers, normally paper or cloth is used, and for high rating, mica is basically used as the insulation. The low voltage winding is placed next to the core, and the high voltage winding is placed around the low voltage winding. This is basically to reduce the insulating material required, as well as for the safety purpose, because later we'll discuss the relation between the primary voltage and current with the secondary voltage and current can be mentioned as V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2, where one indicates the primary side value, two indicates the secondary side value. From this relation, we can see that in the side of the transformer, when the voltage is low, in that particular side, the current will be high. On the other hand, when the voltage is high, the current will be low. So if we say the low voltage windings, that means where the voltage is low compared to the other side. So definitely the current will be more through the low voltage winding. So therefore high current will be flowing through the low voltage winding. Therefore, for safety purpose, the low voltage windings are placed first. This is just for the safety purpose. Here the two windings are arranged as a concentric coil. Such type of winding is also called as the concentric winding or the cylindrical winding, because the shape is look like cylinder and the coils are concentric. So that's why it is also called as a concentric winding or the cylindrical winding. So this is the type of the core type transformer. Next is the cell type transformer. The core of the cell type transformer is basically made by the sheets which are in the shape of E and I. Generally E and I. It can be also made by the F shape. So these are the shape of the sheets, and this is the assembling that we have already discussed. Here the first sheet, in first sheet the E shape is lower and I shape is in the upper side. The next sheet will be E will be on the upper side and I will be in the lower side. So in this way the core of the cell type transformer is made. In the cell type transformer, both the primary as well as the secondary windings are placed on the central limb. Here, if we see the construction, the transformer here should have three limbs. So if we see in this figure, this is the cell type transformer. It is a three-phase type and this is a single-phase type. So in case of single-phase transformer, you can see this is one limb, this is another limb, and this is the third limb. But here, all the windings, whether it is a high voltage windings or low voltage windings, they are basically placed on the central limb. The other two limbs are basically made as free. And similarly, there will be no windings placed on the yoke. Here, each winding is subdivided into sections. That is the low voltage and the high voltage subsections, and that are alternatively placed in the form of sandwich. That's why this type of winding is also called as a sandwich winding. So let's see the figure. This is the schematic diagram of the cell type transformer. This is the limb 1. This is one limb. This is another limb. And this is the third limb. Here this is the yoke and this is also the yoke. Here we can see that in the center of the limb, first some amount of low voltage windings are placed. So when these low voltage windings are placed, then part of the high voltage windings are placed on either side of the low voltage winding. Then further the low voltage windings are placed on either side of the high voltage winding. So here the flux distribution is such that it is considered as a parallel magnetic circuit because the total flux, that is phi, here it can be divided into two parts. So this is considered as a parallel magnetic circuit. Here we can see that the each winding, let's say this low voltage winding, it is placed between two high voltage windings. It is considered as a sandwich winding. Similarly, this high voltage winding is placed between these low voltage windings. So one low voltage winding is sandwiched between two high voltage windings. Similarly, one high voltage winding is sandwiched between two low voltage windings. So in this way, the windings in the cell type transformer is constructed. Remember one thing, the cell type transformer, the material required for the construction of the core is more than that of the core type transformer of same rating. If we consider the same rating transformer, one is made as a core type, another is made as a cell type, then the silicon steel required to construct the structure of the transformer, core of the transformer, it will be more in case of cell type transformer. Whereas the windings required either for the low voltage or for the high voltage winding, the winding requirement is more in case of core type transformer. So the core type transformer is basically used for high current and low voltage rated transformer. The core type transformer is basically used when the rating of the transformer is such that the current level is high but the voltage level is low. On the other hand, the cell type transformer is used when the current rating of the transformer is low but the voltage rating of the transformer is more. It will be discussed later in detail. Now, the other classifications of the transformer. The transformer can be divided into different parts depending upon various points. So here is the first point, that is on the basis of the purpose, for which purpose we are using the transformer. So depending upon the purpose, there may be two types of transformer. One is called the step-up transformer. The purpose of the step-up transformer is to increase the voltage level. That means here the input voltage will be lower and the load side voltage will be higher. This is called the step-up transformer. The other type of the transformer is called as a step-down transformer, where the input side voltage will be more, but the load side voltage will be less. Basically, step-up transformer is used in the generating stations where the voltage level is increased for the transmission purpose, and the step-down transformer are used basically for the distribution purpose. This is the schematic of the step-down and step-up transformer windings. Here we can see that for step-down transformer, the number of turns of the input side, that means the primary side, is more than that of the secondary side. So this is the input side, that means here the voltage will be supply will be given here, and this is the output side where the voltage will be supplied to the load. Similarly, in the step-up transformer, the primary side number of turns is less compared to the secondary side turn. So secondary side means this is the load side, and primary side means this is the supply side. So one thing will always be remembered, that for step-up transformer, the number of turn in the secondary side is more than the number of turn in the primary side. This is for the step-up transformer. And similarly, for step-down transformer, the number of turn of the primary side will be more than the number of turn in the secondary side. This is for the step-down transformer. The transformer can again be divided into depending upon the type of the supply. So it may be either a single phase transformer or it may be three phase transformer. So is the structure of the single phase and three phase transformer for both core type as well as for the cell type. In core type transformers, we have two limbs. So the windings are placed on two limbs. This is called the single phase transformer, core type transformer. In case of three phase transformer, there are three limbs and the winding of each phase is placed on individual limbs. Whereas in case of cell type transformer, there are three limbs, but the primary as well as the secondary windings are placed on the central limb. And this is the construction of the cell type three phase transformer, where the windings are placed in the central limb, but it will be divided into three parts. The next classification of the transformer is based on their use. The transformer can be used as a power transformer. It is basically used in the generating stations and substations for transforming the voltage at each end of the power transmission line. This type of transformer is a very high rating transformer and it is considered as 250 kVA or more. Then this type of transformer is considered as a power transformer. And the voltage level here is 220 kV oblique 11 kV, even more than that. In India, the maximum transmission voltage is 400 kV. So there are different level of the transmission voltage: 400 kV, 220 kV, then 132 kV. So this type of transformer is considered as a power transformer. The power transformer is always operated at a full load condition and their maximum efficiency occurs almost at a full load condition. This is the figure of a power transformer that is used in some power station. The second type of the transformer is considered as a distribution transformer. It is used in distribution network, comparatively lower rating than the power transformer. The transformer rating is here up to 200 kVA. This type of transformer is basically used to distribute the power to the consumer, and it is always the step down transformer. Here the voltage level is 11 kV oblique 415 volts. That means the primary side voltage will be 11 kV and the secondary side voltage will be 415 volts. Remember, this is a three phase transformer where 415 volt means the three phase voltage. Now it can be converted to a single phase voltage. So we'll get the three phase as well as single phase from this distribution transformer. And the distribution transformer is always the delta star type connection. That means the primary is always the delta connected three phase system, and the secondary side from where the power is supplied to the consumer, it is always star connected system. That means here the neutral terminal is also required. Here this is a figure of the distribution transformer. This type of transformer we have seen in our nearby. It is also called as a pole mounted transformer because sometimes this type of transformer is placed on top of the pole. The third type of the transformer, depending upon their use, is called the instrument transformer. This transformer is basically used in relay and in protection purpose of different instruments in industry. That means, as its name is instrument transformer, so this type of transformer is basically used to measure the high voltage or high current in power transmission line. There are two type of instrument transformer. One is called the current transformer and other is called the potential transformer. So here it is the current transformer. Here the primary winding is nothing but the power transmission line. So this is the power transmission line, and here it is the secondary winding. This is considered as the secondary winding, which is connected across some instrument or some other meters or some relays. So here the number of turn in the primary is only one, and in the secondary side the number of turn is more. That means the current transformer is as a step up transformer. So current transformer is always considered as a step up transformer. And we know that in case of step up transformer, the primary voltage is low, but the primary current is high. Similarly, the secondary voltage will be high, but the secondary current will be low. So we can connect the ammeter across the secondary winding, and we can easily measure the current that is flowing in the secondary winding. And then depending upon the number of turns, based on the ratio of the turns in primary and secondary, we can easily find the current which is flowing to the transmission line or the power transmission line. So in this way, the current transformer is basically used to measure the current flowing through a high transmission line. As I have shown, the second type of the instrument transformer is called the potential transformer or PT. This type of transformer is used to measure the high voltage. So here it is the schematic. Let's say this is a high transmission line where the high voltage is transmitted. Here the potential transformer where the primary number of turn is very high, but the secondary number of turn is very low. So it is basically a step down transformer. That means the high voltage transmission voltage is basically stepped down using this potential transformer, and then using the normal voltmeter we can measure the secondary voltage, and again from the relations between the primary and secondary turns we can easily calculate the primary voltage, that means the voltage in the transmission line. So in this way the transformer can also be used to measure the current as well as voltage in high transmission power system. The next type of classification is based on the cooling. As we have already stated that during operation of transformer, there will be copper loss, that is I square R loss. There will be iron loss, that is the sum of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So because of these losses, huge amount of heat is produced in the transformer, in the winding of the transformer as well as in the core of the transformer. Now, if this heat is not dissipated, then the temperature of the transformer winding as well as core will be gradually increasing, and it may create some accident because the insulation of the windings may be burned and there will be chances of short circuiting. So it is very important to make the transformer cool, specifically for high rating transformer, that is for the power transformer as well as for the high rating distribution transformer. So there are various coolants are used for cooling purpose of the transformer, like air, synthetic oil, mineral oil, gas, water. These are the coolant that is used to cool the transformer, to dissipate the heat of the transformer. Basically, there are two types of transformers depending upon their cooling. One is called the dry type, another is called the oil immersed type. So for the cooling of the transformer, following methods are used, like air natural cooling, air forced cooling, oil natural air natural cooling, oil natural air forced cooling, oil forced air forced cooling, oil natural water force cooling, and oil forced water force cooling. So these are the different type of cooling methods. The air natural basically used for very small transformer that we can see in our daily life. Air force where some fans are used to dissipate the heat that is generated within the transformer. The oil cooling is basically used for some distribution transformer and for the high rating transformers. So this is the classification of the transformer depending upon their cooling. So in dry type transformer, normally there are two types. One is called the air natural and another is called the air force. And this type of transformer is used for the uh, small rating purposes, whereas the uh, oil immersed type transformer is used where the rating of the transformer is very high. Here it is a schematic of the oil natural air natural cooling transformer. Here we can see that the oil is uh, put in the tank and the main transformer is within the tank. So when the transformer will generate heat, this heat will make the oil heated and this oil will be expanded. Its volume will be increased. As a result, the oil will be increased and this oil will transfer through the radiator, which is the tube of the transformer that we can see in distribution transformer in our locality. So when these oil are passed through this radiator, it will dissipate the heat and the heat will be radiated in the environment. So in this way, the heat can be dissipated and this type of transformer cooling is called oil natural air natural cooling. There is another type of uh, figure here that is oil forced water force cooling. Here the oil is pumped through a pump and this oil is circulated through the tank of the transformer as well as through the heat exchanger. And here the heat exchanger will collect the heat from the oil and then it will be the heat will be transferred to the water and this water is also there will be some pump used for this water also. So there will be some inlet and outlet of the water. So the water is also continuously flowing. So it will take the heat from the oil and it will dissipate and the oil will take the heat from the transformer and it will be transfer it to the heat exchanger and this total process will be done by using some pump. That's it is called as oil forced water forced cooling of the transformer. So these are the complete classification of the transformer. Thank you.